Hey, and welcome to the first of my episode commentary and reviews for the Sentai series Gosei Sentai Dairanger. Just like I did with Kyoryu Sentai Dairanger, I will be doing a summary and commentary of every episode in this season over the course of the next year. So, let's get into the first episode, Tenshin da! The episode opens with a young boy playing with a yo-yo and singing a song. As Ryu delivers a crate to a kitchen before being told to take out the rubbish. But as he leaves, he's being watched by a man in sunglasses. Ryu is watching the kid with the yo-yo when he's hit by a guy on a bicycle, making him drop the rubbish. As he's picking it up, he's helped by a young friend of his. But a giant tentacle attacks from the bushes, grabbing Yumi and pulling him away as Ryu chases after him. After pulling the boy underground, it starts to chase Ryu. As he runs up the stairs and over fences, he eventually loses it. But he again sees the yo-yo kid, before being grabbed by the tentacle. And out of the sky comes a fire-breathing dragon that disposes of the tentacle as the man in sunglasses arrives. Later, Ryu comes to in a strange room. Running out of the door, he sees 5 motorbikes that don't need riders to move, before he runs outside and is nearly run over, before he gets out near Tokyo Station, where 3 guys approach and grab him. As the sunglasses man watches from a distance, he's taken back to the basement where Sunglasses introduces himself as Kaku. He says if he had been any later, Ryu would have been prey to Himo Danshaku, a monster sent by the Gorma. He explains that the Gorma have a power called Yurioku, and that can only be beaten by Kiryoku, which is something that Ryu has. Ryu denies having the power, but as a demonstration, Kaku uses his power to send Ryu flying across the room, before telling him to believe and firing a sword at his face, which Ryu barely manages to deflect. Impressing Shoji, Kazu and Daigo, who introduce themselves, as Kaku tells him he is now a Dairanger, and one more will soon be joining them, and then the battle against the Gorma will begin. Elsewhere, a leather-clad woman, Commander Gara, appears in front of a railway bridge watching some floating balls. Commander Shaddam and Lieutenant Commander Zydos join Gara, and inside a suitcase, start watching a young woman carrying a bag. This woman starts to be chased by a group of cyclists through the streets and downstairs as they try to attack her. But, using key powers, she knocks most of them off their bikes before she's hit, as the Dairangers arrive. The cyclists keep approaching, but change into the Gorma soldiers. As the Rangers run, they welcome Rin before the 5 fight the Gorma and steal the bike so they can get away, which works until they crash into a truck. Which is when they meet the yo-yo boy, who transforms into Baron String, grabbing the Rangers with his tentacles, throwing them about before lifting them into the air. But as the Baron is about to use its finishing blow, Ryu uses his ki to deflect the tentacle, before the Rangers use their aura changers and transform, sending a blast of power down the tentacles. As the Rangers and Gorma fight, they all make use of their individual styles, as Ryu fights against Baron String, utilising his ki to recover his weapons after losing them. He then uses Lightning Blaze Destruction attack to send a blast of fire at the Baron, causing him to release all his former victims. But refusing to admit defeat, he takes out a bomb, which causes him to grow to a giant size. As Rin and Shoji get the kids to safety, the others are kicked around by Baron String, and as the pair rejoin, the others are still getting hit by tentacles. Back at the basement, Kaku is meditating as things get weird, and he shouts, Kiden summon! Ryu performs the summon and calls on Ryuseo, calling the dragon from earlier. As he uses his die buster to lasso the dragon and ride it into battle, the episode ends. Okay, so as first episodes go, that one is actually pretty fun. I mean, we get to see the Ryuseo in dragon form a few times. And let's face it, I mean, they do some amazing work with those models. It looks so good. But I want to start really with the tentacle monster in the room. Because this is a Japanese show and it's a tentacle monster. And this one's kind of family friendly. You know, it's not your typical Japanese tentacle fiends. Although it makes you wonder, what did some parents think? You know, when this first aired, you know, any parents watching with their kids, oh, it's the new Sentai, let's have a look. Oh, it's a tentacle monster. I remember videos like this. Is it appropriate? Obviously, it was, but let's face it, I mean, Japanese, they can be a bit risque at times, but although I suppose that spiky one could have done some damage. But it's a good introduction to the Red Ranger, to Ryu. You know, he's a normal guy who has a job. And he seems to be on the bottom rung of that, considering he's like doing deliveries, keeps being told to take out the rubbish, and obviously has the little kids that's a friend, which, it's 90s Sentai. There's a lot of kid-centric episodes in that. But, you know, then we get the I mean, first off, we get that weird kid with, like, the milk bottle-like glasses, playing with a yo-yo, which makes very little sense for quite a bit of it. And I'm still not quite sure why that was the Gormon Monster's disguise. But, you know, Ryu's there. He's trying his best to save his little buddy. And then, of course, he gets attacked. And the chase scene's pretty good with that amazingly long tentacle going over staircases, through fences, and all the rest of the stuff. With Ryu just running away until it's attacked by Ryuseo. And we've got Kaku, who's stalking Ryu. Right up to the point where Ryu wakes up in the basement HQ. The motorbikes, or dirt bikes, whatever they are, they seem to be sentient, which is kind of strange for motorbikes. I'm not really sure that I kind of understand that. Considering they all sort of like turn to look at him and he's chased by the red one. And then of course you've got the other three, Daigo, Shaito and Kazu. Like literally surrounding him, just grabbing him like, yeah, you come with us, mate. And dragging him back down there. And I'm sorry, but what is that induction by Kaku? He's like, oh, yeah, you know, they've got Kiryuku powers, and we've got Kiryuku powers, and he's just like, what? He's like, well, let me show you. Whoosh. Throws him against the room, and he goes, you can do it yourself. Throws the sword at him. How many Red Rangers, in fact, how many other Rangers total, not just Red Rangers, did he do this induction on? Like, hey, this is how you learn your powers. Whoosh. Sword in the middle of the face. Like, and he'd just be turning around to people going, get rid of the body. We'll find another one. That's why those three were so impressed. It's like, damn, we actually got one who made it. I haven't seen anyone do that for a while. That's why they were impressed by him. Everyone else is like, sword to the face. I like the Dairangers. You know, they're normal guys that all seem to know how to fight really well and have their own styles. But Wow, what an induction. Yeah, you need to use some powers that you've never heard of before to deflect a sword that I'm going to throw at your face. I think behind that basement HQ is either an incinerator or a mass graveyard. I don't think many people would have passed that test. Although, saying that, he does allow a Chinese woman to be the fifth ranger. Because she comes over and she's attacked by a bunch of people on bicycles. Bicycles. It works. I mean, seeing her dark as the two wheels are going shh and all the rest of it, that is pretty cool. Um, and of course, you know, the Rangers like coming in, they steal a few of the bikes, you've got the bike chase and all the rest of it. I like that. It's good. You don't always have to show them, you know, all suited up and fighting that way. It's nice to get the untransformed fight scenes. Apologies for the shaking and my feet are knocking the desk. So, you know, all that is like pretty damn good as well. But we also get obviously the Kiden summon with Ryuseo. I mean, Ryuseo comes in, is again, like I think I pointed this out in another video. I think it might have been my Kakaranger one. But we've gone from having the Guardian Beasts, which were sentient, we've now got these guys. And obviously we haven't seen any of that lot. I mean, I think most of them will turn up in episode 6. And then One Tiger, I think it was called. I have been looking things up. I should know this by now. That's sometime between episode 15 and 20. So it's just this one at the moment. And even then, only in dragon form. And I've got to say, the final shot of the episode, where Ryu's like got in his like gun thing, like bang, fires off that energy lasso, which hooks onto like one of the earpieces of the dragon, pulls himself up, goes on, and the feet bits go over his feet, and he's just there like riding into battle. I mean, I've seen it all before, and even I'm like, because I've just watched this, just to refresh my brain, having done all the editing and all the rest of it. I'm watching it again so I can say my thoughts, and I'm just like, I want to watch episode 2. Don't be surprised if I'm wearing the same t-shirt, because I'm going to watch episode 2 and do my thoughts on that. Although it is quite hot, so I might do it tomorrow anyway. But yeah, just that final shot must have had kids back in the day, like little Japanese kids going, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this. Or yatta, all right. Yeah, it's a especially the end of it. It's a brilliant introduction. Although the enlarging bomb, I mean, I don't know where he gets it from, but yeah, just like, I mean, okay, we had Bandora's wand in the last series, but and also it's a big change that these guys have jobs. I know I mentioned Ryu having a job earlier. We will see the others having jobs, or I think Rin is a student. But obviously, last season, they'd been woken up after 170 million years. They just got odd jobs at some point in the season because they wanted spending money. These are people from now, or 1990s, that actually had jobs and rents and all the rest of it to pay for. So, big change. And obviously, I think the year before, Jetman, so you had student, rich girl, farmer, drunken gambler, and the military guy. So they all had different things, but they could all mostly sort of get out of it. And it was a military organisation, so I think they had that as their excuse anyway. So, yeah, just having them normal people, I think, probably was a bit of a draw as well. Although it would have been nice if we'd seen more of a settling in phase, but I suppose at least being a two-parter intro, and like last year, it's going to be a two-parter, a two-parter, a two-parter. Or even less than that, because I think it just keeps rolling into the next. And of course, the Gorma themselves, my God, we've just got leather-clad, S&M looking like people obsessed with these giant floating balls wanting to take over the world. I mean, throw in a tentacle monster and hey, you have something that could be a not so family friendly plot line. But this is Sentai, so I think we're safe for the rest of the season. And I will say this, I don't remember this one so much from Power Rangers, because some people have said you like my Power Rangers comparisons. So I actually remember to actually look it up this time. And Baron String was actually renamed as Pipe Brain, which was made from a trophy, a karate trophy by Lord Zed. And yeah, they obviously didn't have the costume for use in the States, so it was used in season 2. It was actually episode 14 of season 2, so quite a way into it before the first Dairanger monster was used. Well, the first monster that was used in Dairanger to be used in Power Rangers, season 2, episode 14. So definitely not in order of any others. I will try and keep remember to mention when like others appear. But yeah, they obviously didn't have the costume, because I think the couple of shots that you got when it was normal size fighting Jason as the Red Ranger, you can see factories in the background, or like those warehouse bits, and yet Jason's in the middle of a park and field and that, you know, the usual like Angel Grove downtown park or whatever it was called. So Jason's in the middle of a parkland, and Pipe Brain has got warehouses and stuff behind him. Yeah, he's still attacking him, although the putties do most of the work. And then, of course, you know, Zed throws down his enlarging bomb, and it goes big, and then you get the footage from episode 2 of Dairanger, where Ryuseo in warrior mode bites it and obviously finishes it off. So you've got the stuff from episode 2 as well, but it's such little footage. I mean, I got to take my hats off to the people who did Power Rangers, because as a kid, I still loved it. Watching it now, I'm just like, that's it? Really? That's all you could do? So, yeah, they really did a good job on that. Obviously, next week will be episode 2. We're going to carry on the story. It is a direct continuation. And I think maybe this first 6 episodes is just one episode. In fact, no, I think the first 4 are like one straight after the other. And then 5 and 6 will be a 2-parter, where we'll finally get Daireno. But hey, that's then, this is now, and this was episode 1. I'll see you guys on Sunday with more Gojija. I have just had a delivery of Builder Megazord parts, so little spoiler, this is getting heavy now, but more is being done. I mean, look at the size of this thing. I mean, it's not finished yet. This is everything I can actually do so far, but I mean, look, if I put it next to my head, this is big. And I don't mean my head. So, you know, I thoroughly recommend watching those videos. They will be going up next week if you've been following the build stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys with more Dairanger, more Gojija, some Builder Megazord, and at some point I'll get around to reviewing more of these. So I'll see you next time.